Thank you. We'll go to the next one. Same thing as 2 slides before. The top numbers, taking that first bar, which is track and field on the left-hand side, the total number of responses is the percentage, right? And then below is the total number of respondents, or responders, if you will. So females from Chico High and PV would like to continue playing the following sports. That means they play the sports and they want to continue playing these sports. So let's take Chico High in this instance, and then we'll look at PV right next to it. Track and field is huge. Just so you know, there's always over, track and field is probably one of the biggest programs that we have out there, next to football, of course, which you can tell on the right-hand side, that sticks out substantially when you look at the males. So you'll see that all the sports that they would like to continue playing. Any questions with regards to this one? Okay. Next slide. In this slide, you'll see students not currently participating in a sport at Chico High and PV are generally interested in participating in the future. So in the first one, you'll say yes. Yeah, they want to participate in a sport in the future. The second row, if you will, it says maybe. You know, those are like in-betweeners. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Then you have the no's, which were like, yeah, I'm definitely not playing sports in the future. But you do have some numbers up there that say yes. And then, of course, you look at the maybes. If you were to look at PVs, which is the top ones that say yes, if you look at that one, you could see, okay, you add up the boys and the girls. So now you can say, okay, there's 35 students there that, yeah, they're interested in playing sports next year that they haven't played before. Okay, good. Let's get them going. Any questions with regards to this slide? All right. Next one. In this slide, we are gauging what the experience was for the participants that played sports or did athletics at both high schools. And what sticks out, it's pretty evident, is that students overall had a very positive experience playing sports at both high schools. There are some neutrals there, but I mean, when you see those bars at the top end from the majority of the respondents, that is pretty impressive. And if you look at the negative, well, look at that little bar down there that says, or that sentence down there, values not shown for fewer than 6 respondents. So you can kind of notice that compared, okay, so 6 and 6 down there in the bottom, if you're looking at that bottom row for the female section, it's like, okay, there's it's fewer than that. So just want to share that with you, because to me that's positive. Our sports are having a very positive effect with our students. All right, next slide. I want to be very clear with this one, because this one and the next slide are kind of similar, but to understand them is very important. So if I do not do a good job, I need you to hold me accountable and ask me to explain it again. So in this slide, these are the number of students, females and males, who currently do not play sports at the high school, who would like to play the following sports that are currently not offered. Okay, so these sports here are not offered at the high schools. And your question should be, it's like, okay, why'd you choose these sports that are on here as the list, right? And so my response to that is because these sports are the sports that are offered within the CIF. So that is why these are there. Because if you're going to add a sport at a high school, possibly thinking about it, well, however we go, you got to make sure that you have somebody to play against. And the only persons or teams to play against are going to be within your CIF sections. So just want to let you know about that. So once again, these are students who do not play sports. But man, if they offered this sport, they would totally be into it. So that top one, females, huge. 34.3%, 35% of the responses were there because once again, they could have chosen multiple, but 45 out of 84 of the females said badminton was one of their top choices. And then down to beach volleyball as a top choice, and then followed by flag football. If you look at the right-hand column, you're going to look at Chico High and PV once again. Badminton, there was 37 students that said males that at Chico High said, I would love to play badminton. And then if you look at PV, you'll see 22. Now, if you add those together, because it's one single sport in a say, that's a substantial amount of students with interest in badminton. Then below the badminton section, you will see on the boys' side lacrosse, which also stands out there. 15 out of 51 respondents said, and this is Chico High, said, yeah, I would play lacrosse if it was offered. And then at PV said 14 out of 31 respondents said, yeah, I would play lacrosse if it was offered. So just want to throw that out there. Are there any questions with regards to this slide? Yes.
Sorry. You said that there were PV girls and boys that said they would play lacrosse.
No. I said that the numbers with badminton
Got it.
are PV and Chico High. If you look at them as like those two together are pretty substantial group of students that are interested in playing
And then
badminton.
beach volleyball.
Yep.
Is that for both schools?
No. Yeah, that's for both schools, but it's for female sports. Yeah. Maybe one of your questions maybe is like, hey, wait a minute here. What about lacrosse for females? Why is that not? It's because it's not currently offered within the CIF.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop girls from playing on a potential boys team, any of these teams, boys teams in the future. So just want to make sure that that's clear.
That was the part I missed was.
Okay. All right. Any other questions with it?
Is that the reason males aren't represented for beach volleyball as well?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, beach volleyball is not a male sport within the CIF. Yeah, great questions. Okay, next one. Okay. Much like the slide before, this one is the complete opposite. This is with regards to our students that currently play sports or are involved in athletics at both schools. So these students say, hey, listen, I already play these sports. I'm already involved in athletics. That being said, if these sports were offered at the high schools, I would definitely be playing these sports. So starting with the females, you will see beach volleyball. That's big and it's up there. So it's like 64 out of 115 students, female students, said beach volleyball is their interest. They would love to do that. That was just Chico High. PV was 38 out of 81. Flag football, that is something that's gaining a lot of momentum within California and the CIF. So it's just throwing that out there. It is gaining momentum. So 61 out of 115 females at Chico High said, yeah, this is kind of cool. I'd definitely play that. And then PV has 39 out of 81. So, and so on and so forth. Then you see badminton down there, 59 out of 115, and then so on and so forth. When you look at the male side, what does stand out there is that top bar. You'll see lacrosse. So 55 out of the 87 students that play athletics said, hey, listen, if there was lacrosse, I would definitely be interested in playing that sport. And at PV, it's 55 out of 62. And so then followed by badminton and water polo. What are your questions with regards to this slide? Okay. No questions? Okay, next one. Here's where we get to celebrate, because this is pretty cool, I think. So here what you have are all the league and section titles for the 24-25 school year. And as you can tell, Chico High and Pleasant Valley are pretty even in terms of how they compete within section and the league. And it's impressive what our teams do within the CIF. I do want to say that for PV, because of the time that this came out, there were added, there was actually league champions. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, because I did tell Pam Jackson that I would share that the PV boys golf team won league. So kudos to them. And then also, there's awards for coaches. I thought that was fantastic. So I will mention that Beth Burton and Dave Crawford were named Section Model Coach Award winners, both of them from PV. So I did want to share that. Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.